Over the years, I've been consistently transforming my small gaming room to fully deck out a compact space. We'll be taking a look at a lot of stuff, fellas, so sit back, relax, and welcome to my 2024 small room setup tour. We are going to start in this corner and work our way around to the juicy stuff. Starting off with my fancy standing desk solution, which is all powered by the amazing M2 MacBook Air. It is the base model, but it's still super powerful considering the compact size and having no fans cooling it. I just love having all the power and bring it wherever I go. And to make this area of the room a bit more cozy, I've gotten this beautiful lamp from IKEA. Absolutely a great lamp for the price. Mounted on the wall is a Samsung The-Frame TV, which at the moment is working as a secondary monitor or displaying art in its art mode. And to make the MacBook more universal and connected to the TV, I've gotten this hub in a matching color. The drawer itself is nothing fancy to show, just a regular unit from IKEA with some stickers, which I got, 8 years ago. Alrighty fellas, moving on to the next area, we have this compartment filled with Apple boxes lit up by some light puck from IKEA. I mean, the theme is nice, yeah? And to the right we have some of my consoles. I especially enjoy hopping on the 360 or the PS3 because they are great for nostalgia trips. To cover the cables, I put my tripod here. It does the job, but I'm looking to get a more sturdy unit. Over my other consoles we have the Xbox Series X. I recently got this and I've been loving it ever since. Before this I used the One X, which honestly I could go back to because I can swap it to an SSD, and the next gen games just haven't been appealing in my eyes. And I'm considering to add some neon lights at the back of my TV, but we'll see if it comes in play. Here's my stool, which you can open. It's made from soft fabric and it's been absolutely dominated by our cat Big Leo for the past couple of weeks. I'll bet Big Leo is waiting for something to pop up on my 55-inch 4K TV. And you could say that I deliver. This TV is an absolute beast, whether you'd like to play games, watch movies or, do anything TV related. It's got mini LED, HDR, 120Hz, 4K, I think you get the idea. Right guys, to enjoy the immersion that the TV provides, I've gone with a sofa bed from IKEA instead of a regular bed. It's not the comfiest, but it does what a couch does, while also doing what a bed does. And as I just showed you, you have some flaps to access the storage compartment under the bed. And finally you can move around these fat ass pillows and place them wherever you like. Under the bed I've installed a Philips Hue light strip and a rug surrounding the upper part of the room. A rug makes an incredibly huge difference to the room, so that's a big recommend from me. I've also gone and mounted this flimsy little nightstand on the sofa bed. On it I have a 3-in-1 charger from Belking, so I have my devices fully juiced up and ready to go for the day. I used the iPhone 15 Pro Max, but I'm showcasing an iPhone 13 mini because I'm recording with the 15 Pro Max. I also have the Apple Watch Series 8 and the 3rd generation AirPods. Additionally, on my nightstand I have a smart clock, and I tried to make a somewhat pretty cable management, if you will, I guess. Moving on to my shelf, where I put a bunch of gaming stuff and some other trinket and treasures. Starting off with these caps to add some personal decoration, and behind those we have a small collection of PS3 games. And to the right we have a pair of special edition Xbox controllers. They are sitting on a 3D printed stand that I printed with the Lego Neptune 3 Pro, sitting in a different room. On the shelf above things are getting more interesting. Another collection of games featuring PS4 and Xbox One titles. A fake plant to add some greenery, and then the stunning GTA 5 Collector's Edition. I made a full video unboxing it, which you can click on in the end of this video if it catches your eye. On the top we have some special editions of a selection of my favorite games, and some other boxes. It fits nicely with the shelf, doesn't it fellas? Wrapping up the shelf we have some 360 and PC games. On this wall we have a graffiti themed wall art which I chose when we moved into the house. So fellas, now with this area of the room fully covered, let's move on to the next one. Starting off as far to the left as possible, we have my random section. We have two MacBook Pros, one from 2016 and one from 2011. Some boxes, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Mac Mini, an old one, ancient one, ooh. And also the favorite thing in my corner, the Gran Turismo 5 Signature Edition, which I unboxed on the video in the top right corner. So my fellow fellas, we have finally arrived, the desk. Here we'll begin with my power bank, which is a SharkGeek 100 packing a whopping 25,600 millionth amps. Holy shit! Not only that, but also 100 watts in and out, and the design is simply outstanding. Here we have my iPad Air 4th generation with a Logitech Folio Touch something, I don't remember the name, but whatever. And of course the essential Apple Pencil. Honestly, it has been an amazing tool for taking notes in class. Alrighty, next to the iPad is my 2013 iMac. Its age has definitely started to show, but I mean it's got a 2K screen, so yeah. The keyboard I'm using for the iMac is the infamous Apple Magic Keyboard. And then we have a Apple Magic Mouse 2nd generation. I do enjoy the multi-touch feature, but then we have the controversial ergonomics and the charging port location. Next to the iMac we have the Xbox One X Gears 5 edition hooked up to the main monitor. So yeah, that's it for the left section of the desk. Oh, and the mousepad I'm using for the iMac is the Logitech G240. So the desk is actually a countertop, which means it needs support. This is where the Alex storage unit comes in clutch, because I now have a place to fill my empty boxes. We also have two dead retro consoles resting in that mess. The chair I'm using is the Arossi Vernessa in soft fabric. When I sit my ass down on it, I sure do feel like Daddy Big Bucks. I'm running with a dual monitor setup at the moment, but are interested in investing to a widescreen in the future. Anyways, the monitors are both 27 inches from the Asus TUF lineup, although they do differ in performance, and I will throw up the specs on screen. To get some nice glow behind the monitors, we have a set of Philips Hue Play bars. They are mounted on my most recent purchase, which is a monitor arm from IKEA to give the setup a facelift. For the keyboard we have the Razer Huntsman Elite. It has the purple Razer optomechanical switches featuring an armrest that is falling apart. But still, I think this keyboard delivers one of the fanciest RGB lightnings to ever exist in a keyboard. The mouse I'm currently using is the Xtrfy M4 wireless. Nothing to complain about it, I just usually turn off the RGB in it so I get some more juice out of it. Under the mouse and keyboard we have a mousepad from the brand GitGood. I was in desperate need of swapping my old RGB mousepad from Razer because it was bending like crazy. So I saw a deal on this masterpiece for $5 and I mean, how could you not resist? To make the setup more aesthetically pleasing, I've added some fake plants from IKEA. As for the speakers, we have a pair of Trust speakers which does the job just fine. And then we have a Stream Deck Mini which I'm using to monitor my PC, and you'll see why it's being used that way in a second. Then we have some more IKEA plants and the 2nd generation Nest Hub in the middle. It's a beautiful little device for controlling lights, playing music, and of course, using as a clock. We have a relatively inexpensive smart light strip on the desk, but it still delivers great glow and is connected to Google Home, which is awesome. As for the boom arm, I'm using a compact one from a brand called WeStream. It fits my desk perfectly and it supports the weight of the mic with ease. Alrighty, and mounted on the boom arm we have the infamous HyperX Quadcast. You can adjust the gain and mute the mic on the fly, you have different polar patterns, an inbuilt shock mount and pop filter. Disregarding some minor connection issues, it's a great piece of hardware. And yep, this is the earphones I use every day when on my PC. It's a pair of Apple AirPods which came in the box from my old iPhone 5. For casual use, it's a great pair of headphones since the sound is clear and I find them extremely comfy. As for the pop filter, it's nothing fancy really, I just picked something that looked good in the store for a good price. But now let's move down to my little command center, aka the Stream Deck Mark II. With the green buttons I can easily record or capture highlights. The blue buttons are for voiceovers, which I'm using to record this video. We also have some fancy Spotify controls. If you'd like to increase or decrease the volume, it's as easy as... Ah, wonderful. We're not going to take a full tour today, fellas, but I've gotta show you this. And whenever you like, you can deactivate party mode by pressing this button. Every light will return back to normal. Okay, and the last thing I wanna show you is the dark mode button, which turns off several lights on my PC and dims the play bars. Absolutely brilliant for doing late night work. Now over to the PC that's been serving me for the past 5 years. I'll pop the full specs here on screen, and the only changes I've done to it is to upgrade the graphics card, added more RAM and style it with some RGB cables. It's a trustworthy companion for gaming, but it's a different story for my style of video editing. I'll most likely wait for the next Intel CPUs to drop and snag the previous gen at a better price, but we'll see until then. On top of the PC we have Volumetric Time. It can display my live subscriber count and notify for new subscribers. It can do a lot of smart stuff as well as some basic stuff. It's a cool gadget for keeping track of everything at a glance, although it sure is overpriced. Sitting on it is a Razer Kijo, which I rarely use. Here is also where I usually store my 2TB external Samsung SSD, and another fake plant to add some greenery. The cable management is something that can be improved, of course, but I'm currently pretty happy with it. And fellas, if you thought that we were done with the Alex units, well, then you're very wrong. This is the Alex drawer, which makes your life much more convenient. In the first compartment is where I store everyday items such as a wallet, storage devices, remotes. You get the idea. The camera that is laying here is the DJI Pocket 2, which I put up on auction. That's because I now use the Insta360 Flow AI gimbal instead, which is a great piece of camera equipment. In here we also have my car key to my newly bought car.
Hi, I've got an Audi TT.
Now this is a setup and room tour, so if you wanna see a separate video on the car, then definitely let me know in the comments below. Alrighty fellas, where were we? Ah yes, the second compartment filled with older iPhones, other Apple stuff and gaming mice. Then we have various controllers and cables. Under that we have a compartment filled with car stuff with hunkin' junk. And the last compartment has to be my favorite. It's packed with nostalgia because here's where I store my Skylander figures. I love revisiting this game series from time to time to relive one of my favorite games growing up as a small fella. Now moving back up, we have a long ass shelf from IKEA. Up here we'll find more fake plants, some chess trophies from years ago, and my collection of iPhone boxes. On the shelf is a light strip from wish.com that surprisingly held for 5 years and counting. We also have a glass picture on a snow tiger hanging on the wall. The area falls dark here, so I'm considering to get some lights for it. Here's a framed subscriber milestone about the setup. And remember, if you actually do enjoy this type of video, which I believe you do because you watched this far, then I would highly appreciate you fellas subscribing. So a frame of 10,000 subscribers is hanging here in the next setup video. Fellas, the tour is starting to reach its end, but there is one more thing. And that is this laptop. Maybe nothing special at first glance, but that is until you remove the 2 metal plates. This is the GPD WinMax 2, which is a 3-in-1 10.1-inch gaming laptop. Keyboard, controller and touchscreen in one package. Powerful specs on the fly, and when stationary you can plug in our eGPU to make this fella a beast. It's probably the most unique piece of tech I own. So that's it for the tour. It's a small room to furnish, but I'm trying to make the most of it. I hope you enjoyed it, especially since it's been recorded in 4K, because just take a look at my PC handling it. Thank you fellas for sticking till the end, and I'll see you in the next one.